Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and we are starting project 2 with Close to My Heart Capture. I always forget the name of this collection. This one's called Candid Moments. But I'm going to be following their prompts. Like I've mentioned in the past couple of videos, they do a really good job of laying out how to put these pages together. But same as the first two pages, I'm going to be tweaking it a little bit, making it my own. Their original had one 4x6 landscape photo and a 3x3 square photo. I really don't care for the extra 3x3 photo that's on there, but I do have two 4x6s I'm going to end up layering up in place of the 4x6 that's horizontal. So that'll kind of tweak the proportions a little bit, but I really like how this one comes together. This, out of all the double page spreads they give you, is the most different from my original style. And I really thought about changing it quite a lot, but I really kind of thought it was fun what they did, even though it is a different style. So I decided to actually follow it pretty closely just to see. A lot of the times when I try something different, it just gives me new ideas for my own pages. Or even just I end up maybe liking it more than I thought I would and wanting to incorporate it. So inking the whole 12 by 12 in my blue ink. And then I will go in with all the die cuts. There's a lot of circular die cuts from the punch out sheet that's on this page, as well as some sticker banners that's really fun, a bird cage that's layered up that they give you to piece together. So I kind of already have all that punched out to the left there, and it was really fun compiling this page and kind of playing with that. But I'm starting out with inking the background, and then they inked the 3x3 photo in the papaya paper, so I decided, since I'm not going to have that little photo and they did not put a mat on the larger photo, that I would just mat the larger photos in that paper instead, if that makes sense. So I have a scrap of that papaya paper from the first couple pages I used that paper on, so I'm just going to trim those out, and then I inked that in the papaya ink as well, just to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm really loving the tone on tone inking this month already. It's a lot of fun. So I'm gutting the middle portions in case I want to use those as layers or punch something out of it for some future pages, but I'm going to go ahead and mat the photos in both of those. I know I need to overlap them because there's not a whole lot of room to work with if I want to create the same look that they do. I really don't want to span so much of the page with these two photos when they really only used one. So you'll see that I overlap them to kind of compensate for that change in proportion. And then everything else I'm really going to try to follow what they did, which is fun. So there you can see those papaya matted photos overlapped. I'm going to overlap them even more than that. You can see once I piece together this little bird cage with the backing and layer that next to the photos, it really spans the whole horizontal part of this page. And there's so much fun kind of circular cascade layering going on behind all these elements. I didn't want to cover up so much of it, so you'll see I just kind of scooch everything a little bit closer together to create more room for all of these circles. And then now I'm going to go in. I'm really referencing their original a lot for this. I'm going to try and lay everything out the way they did, and if something looks weird with my change in proportion, then I'll just tweak it as I go so it makes more sense. But I'm really trying to currently just lay everything out the way they had it, minus the additional 3x3 photo that they included. So, and I end up liking that I took that photo out because I am using two instead of one large photo, and I think this page kind of needed an extra break because by the end there's a lot going on, which I think is really fun, and it's super different from my normal style, so it was really cool to kind of play in a different way. But there, I think I'm almost done kind of layering everything down. This is kind of a game of stick it all down the way they did, figure out what you want to change, and then go through and glue it all back down again. So I'm trying to figure out where I want everything to lay down. I think we're going to cut in a little bit to where I kind of have it figured out, but I want you to kind of see my process of playing around with it first before I cut. But I'm just trying to layer everything exactly how they had it. They had a couple pieces layered there. minus all the stickers we'll add at the end. But this is pretty much how their die cuts were layered. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to where all of this stuff is glued down. And then you'll kind of see how I tweaked it. Okay, so now all of this stuff is glued down. You can kind of see where I've started to trim some of these circles that are overhanging on the page. And I will end up using those pieces I trimmed off instead of throwing them away. I'll save them to layer up with this navy circle that's over on the right-hand side of the page. I wanted some more circles layered up on that side because the left side, there's a lot of layered circles going on. And if this was a double page spread the way they intended it to be, it would make a lot more sense because this navy circle overhangs to the page next to it, and then the cascade continues on that page as well. But because I'm using this double page they've given me as two separate 12 by 12s, I really want this page to look balanced by itself. So I wanted it to look like there was just as much layery circles on that side as on the left side. So once I trimmed these pieces that were overhanging on the left side, you'll see now I am adding them over here, and I really think that helps add some balance. It adds some more yellow over there. Granted, the yellow title sticker will be over there too, but I just think this makes such a difference because this is now a single page. I think these pages might still be next to each other in the book, and even though they do obviously look like they are intended to go together as a double, I'm just thinking of them as two companion pages. So that's kind of how I decided my brain would think about it. I forgot to mention I did add that branding strip at the top of the page pretty early on in the process, so that was something they did on their original too. And now I'm adding the little journaling strips. Sorry, there's a really loud motorcycle that just drove by, but I'm adding those journaling strips to the bottom right hand corner of the page. Those were on their original tucked up a little higher under the photo, but because I added some more circles, my proportion kind of changed. This open yellow area on the bottom was just looking really open, so I feel like that looked like a better spot for those journaling strips to go. So I did go ahead and stick those down there. That's where I'll do my journaling, and now I'm going through the sticker sheet. This is a really fun part of the process for me, going through the sticker sheet and just pulling off everything that they used and getting it stuck down. That today will be flat on the page, but this little best day ever that's layered on top of that, I do want to put up on some foam to add some dimension. And then it looks kind of like a snowflake, but one of those little firework looking ephemera bits I popped up on some foam over there by the bird cage, and then the yellow heart that will go over there I will also pop up on some foam. So I'm just trying to play with some of the dimension. There's this little sticker that's included on this page, but it was going to go on the 3x3 photo that they included, which is not on my page. But I still wanted to include all the elements they did, even if I changed where they went. So I ended up putting that on the bird cage instead. And I just inked that in blue so it didn't blend in, so you could actually see that it was a fishtail banner, which I think is super cute. But now I'm just looking at everything that's left. There are some wood grain pieces they included on this page as well, but I felt like this page had so much going on, and I decided to just leave the wood grain elements off of this page. If I was really trying to get everything used up the same way they did, I'd use them, but in my back of my brain, I know that I have extra paper I ordered with this collection, so after I do all 3 projects that they give you, I'm going to do some of my own pages. So anything that I can save from these, I know I can use on my own pages later. So that's why I kind of decided just to save the wood grain pieces. I didn't think they added too much to this page because there's already so much going on, and I think they'll be a really cool touch on my pages later on. So there is this banner element that's on this page. On their original, it runs across the entire top of the page, but because my proportion changed, my title's up a little higher than it was on theirs, and because I removed the 3x3 photo that was in the upper left-hand corner, I decided instead of the banner running across the top of the page, I would just kind of have it drooping across this empty corner. I tried to use my little circular wall decoration as a stencil, which worked really well, but I stuck those down a little bit lower than I ended up wanting them to be. So I still end up going back and moving that arch up a little bit just to fill in that space a little better. So you'll kind of see me going back and moving all of those around. But that's another element I think is super fun. I love banners on pages. I don't do them all that often, but I definitely wanted to incorporate that from their original as well. So this one turned out really fun. Again, this one was super different than my original style. It was really fun to kind of play and do something different. I will go in and pull in some enamel dots as well as a finishing touch. So that's something I've also really enjoyed doing this month already. Just adding a little bit of an extra thing from my stash to finish it off at the end. But I think it turned out really cute. This is when I first got to meet Avery. So finally I got a day off. So I was able to go hang out with him. Here's where I decided I thought I would add some extra wood grain elements because the one wood grain star was looking lonely. But yeah, I just decided to remove them altogether. But I'll do my journaling and it'll kind of talk about how I finally got to meet him. This book I'm creating for Avery, so I'll gift it to my sister for maybe Avery's birthday. If I have it done in time, I probably won't. It'll probably be Christmas next year when he gets it. But I wanted to journal this page specifically as if it's from me, since I am the one creating this page. So all I said was I couldn't wait to meet you. As soon as I had a day off, I came to see you, and it was love at first sight. And then I just did Heart Kelsey. If I had enough room, I probably would have done Aunt Kelsey. But it's okay. So my journaling is down, and then I think I will go in with some enamel dots. And then the page after this will be page 2 from this project, which is project 2. And then there's one double page after that I'll do 2 more 12x12s. I decided I would do each of the projects from Close to My Heart that they give you, and then after that I'll have fun with the rest of the products to try to use the rest of it up for the month. But I added some of these kind of tealy blue enamel dots to create a visual triangle, add some extra pizzazz, and here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's the original again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.